Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. I had to think about it for a second. Even though I had ladies group this morning, and still I had to think about it. I hope everybody's having a great day. Still warm out there again today. I think we're setting records on how warm it is. I mean, in women's group Sunday and today we talked about stumbling blocks and whether we're a stumbling block or how we cannot be a stumbling block, how our actions, our thoughts, all of that changes who we are. But as I was reading through what I printed, it talked about Jesus and Peter, that Peter was being a stumbling block for him. And it made me really think about what we do and what we say when those in our sphere of influence can make a huge difference. And in Matthew 16, starting at verse 21, it says, "From then on, Jesus began to tell his disciples plainly that he had to go to Jerusalem, and he told them what was going to happen there. He would suffer at the hands of leaders and the leading priests and the teachers of religious law. He would be killed, and he would be raised on the third day." So he's telling them, and he's preparing them about what's going to happen. And Jesus turned to Peter but verse 22, but Peter took him aside and corrected him. Can you imagine going and correcting Jesus? Jesus, what you're saying ain't true. Why are you saying that? Which gives me even more respect for Jesus, because he handles it well. And Jesus is a leader. And sometimes our leaders, I'm talking about the leaders of our nation, the leaders of our communities, the leaders don't handle things well. But Peter said, took him aside and corrected him. "Heaven forbid, Lord," he said, "this will never happen to you." Heaven forbid this will never happen to you. And Jesus turned to Peter, and note to self, don't try and eat a candy bar really quick before you get on live. Didn't work for me so well. Jesus turned to Peter and said, "Get away from me, Satan. You are a dangerous trap to me. You are seeing things merely from human point of view and not from God's." Sometimes we need to tell that to ourselves because of our self-doubt, our fear, our anxiety, our worry, our depression. We need to say, because those are definitely things from the enemy, definitely things from Satan. And we need to say, get behind me, Satan. You don't have the will of God, but the will of man. That's exactly what he's saying here. And Jesus said that to Peter. And I just can't imagine what Peter's face looked like. But I'm sure he was embarrassed. I'm sure he was like, oh, I just stepped in it. And then Jesus said to the disciples, "If any of you wants to be my follower, you must put aside your selfish ambitions, shoulder your cross, and follow me. If you try to keep your life for yourself, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for me, you will find true life. And how do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul in the process? Is anything worth more than your soul? For I, the Son of Man, will come in the glory of my Father with his angels and will judge all people according to their deeds. And I assure you, some of you standing here right now will not die before you see me, the Son of Man, coming into my kingdom." He's telling us not to be selfish. How many of us are selfish? That's a hard one to put through. We want things our way, the way that we want it. You got to do it the way that we want it. Selfish people only think about themselves. There are some days that we need to be selfish because somebody's trying to tear us away, and we need to put those boundaries up. And we talked about that this morning. When we put those boundaries up, that means that we need to stick by those boundaries. The Lord does not and did not ever put you here to be a doormat. He didn't make you out of rubber so you could just wash yourself off every time you got stepped on. He didn't do that. He put us here to be ambassadors of light. And if in our job we can't be that light, or if in our sphere of influence we can't be that light, or within whatever it might be we can't be that light, we need to really examine and not be selfish. And just say, I'm in my comfort zone, I'm in my box, I'm just going to stay right here. When Jesus is saying, hey, I need you over here, I need you out here, I need you doing this. Sometimes we have to get out of that comfort zone. I've always joked that the Lord pulled me out of my comfort zone many years ago, and I haven't got to get back into my box. I liked my box. I liked knowing what I was going to do and how I was going to do it and all of that. I liked it. And I started working here, and then things evolve and things change, and wow is all I can say, because he has blessed me far more than I deserve, by far more than I deserve. But we can't be selfish, and we need to understand sometimes we have to say to ourselves, get behind me, Satan. You know, I have the will of God, but the will of man. We need to be following that will that the Lord has for us, and that is to make him known. And to love ourselves as our neighbor, love your neighbor as yourself. So that means we have to love ourselves first before we can love somebody else. If you don't love yourself, which I've admitted I struggle with that a lot. Self-worth is hard for me. But he's teaching me and he's showing me. And when we seek him with our whole heart, he will answer, and he will grow, and he will move, and he will change you and do amazing things in your life if you'll just let him. So today, I'm saying, don't be like Peter and say, heaven forbid this will not happen. Say, Jesus, I trust you in whatever happens. I know you have my will, or you have my best in your mind, and you're going to do that for me as long as I'm obedient and I do as you would have me to. So today I pray that you will just follow him, that you will seek him with your whole heart, because he knows when you're seeking him. He knows when you're truly, truly seeking him with all that you have, and then he knows also when you're just giving him lip service. We have to be careful, because we don't want to hear that. We don't hear Jesus say to us, get behind me, Satan. We don't want to hear that. We just need to listen. We need to be obedient. I hope you guys have a great, great day. It is hot outside. Be careful. Today is youth. We have the K through 5 at 6 and 6 through 12 at 7. They will be fed a meal. They will have a lesson, and they will be allowed to play outside. And volleyball has become a big deal. There's always a volleyball going around a circle and counting the number of times it can be hit. It's pretty fun. And then there's always a really strong game of basketball going on, and football. We have it all out here. So I hope that you'll allow your children to come. If they need a ride, please call 918-399-5956 so we can get them picked up. And if you live in Stillwater, we can't pick them up. If you live in Yale, Olton, Jennings, we can try to get them picked up and take them back home. So hope you guys have a great day. I want to thank our sponsors, Dawn and Sheila Ferris, Kim Morris, Gordon and Dee Kennard, Stacy Reese at My Travel Misha, Genesis Home Health, Parco Tax, the Watkins family, and Travis and Maddie Holloway. Thank you so much. We will be renewing sponsorships for the new year. If you are interested in that, please let me know. And we'd love to have you stay on and keep sponsoring this, because we need your help. We have some issues with a camera and some mics and such as things like that. So if you can help us out, that would be perfect. And we'd love to have you on as a partner. Hope you guys have a great, great day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.